Yes, very much.
Yeah, just give me a few seconds and we will start.
Yes, please.
Just one more participant is coming and we will immediately start in a minute. Okay, so those participants have finally joined. And so we welcome everyone for this RISE workshop, a positive psychology workshop. And I'm very happy to introduce the instructor, Deepak Bharwani. So for those who don't know, Deepak Bharwani is an educator, researcher, and writer on uniqueness people bring to the world. Over the last decade, he has facilitated discussion with students, corporate executives, families to explore and ignite their unique personal significance. Deepak has developed insights into human uniqueness and potential by his certification in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen Covey, Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, and the Strong Inventory. After completing his master's in management, he worked in international markets and started his entrepreneurial venture in which he's a market leader in its space. Deepak's journey is to enable individuals find their greatness and inspire others to find theirs. So this is a very, very unique offering of Govardhan Eco Village, and we're very happy to have all the participants. And it's a 3-day workshop. And I now request Mr. Deepak to begin the workshop. We can't hear you.
Sorry. Uh, yes. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, now you're audible. Please
Yes.
begin, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Priya Chaitanya Prabhu. You are one of the best salesmen on this planet. You can sell anything to anybody. The fact that you could sell me to 30 odd people, thank you very much. Your enthusiasm is just infectious. Your call, your messages, they just enthuse people. Thank you very much for making this happen. So, friends, this workshop is called Rise, and like this wonderful tall building, Burj Khalifa in Dubai, we have this potential. We all have this potential to rise. And this program is going to guide us to some extent in terms of how to rise. And there are many ways to rise. I've been researching on this subject for some time, and I'm going to be sharing some of my findings based on experts in terms of how we can rise. And I'm sure there are many other ways. So don't think this is the only gospel truth. But if like this building, if you see, it has risen to a great height. I do not know how many floors it is, but it's one of the tallest buildings in the world. But what made it rise is the work which went below the ground. The foundation of this building is ensuring that this building sustains their rise, sustains its rise. So if we really want to go high in life, we have to go deep inside. And this program is an endeavor to go a little deeper inside us, because that is where the secret to rise is. We tend to look outside, which is fair. We tend to take ideas from outside, which is fine. However, in case we do not go deep inside, the rise may not sustain too much. So, friends, this program is a workshop, 3 sessions, 1.5 hours each. I expect it to be interactive. I do not have all the answers. Maybe answers will come from other participants. So please feel free to interject, ask questions, challenge, debate, because this is a learning journey. We all have to get better and better. And maybe with this, my next program will be better. And maybe you might be doing the next program, because that's the endeavor of taking this strength movement ahead. So day one is about why are we doing this program? Why are we trying to learn about strengths? And a little bit about strengths, I would be sharing a framework. Day two, we will go deeper into the framework. And day three is going to be in terms of how to apply it in our life. So this is what the broad plan is. And yes, I'm going to share an experience of mine. This is called my first kitchen experience. Immediately after my graduation, uh, I worked with a company and they posted me in Europe, and they were very kind enough to offer me a good meal at my boss's residence. And it was quite a pleasant experience because he took care of me, my first trip outside of India for work. And after I came back, I was again asked to go, and I was quite happy. But one day before going, he told me that, listen, this time you'll have to cook on your own. And I had only 24 hours to learn cooking, and 20 years had passed by, and I had not stepped into the kitchen to cook. So I quickly went to my mom and I said, Mom, teach me something. I need to cook in Europe. And she quickly taught me how to make dal chawal, lentils, and rice. And I wrote down everything properly, all the measurements. And then I was in Europe, my first evening in the kitchen, opened the recipe book, started cooking. I managed to cook rice and lentils. I started eating. I was very hungry, so I was eating, but it wasn't tasting as well as it was at home. And I followed the recipe to the T. I called up my mom and I said, Mom, uh, this dal chawal doesn't seem to taste as well as it tastes in Mumbai. What happened? She said something very profound. She said, quality ingredients and instructions are very good in life. And also, what matters is a quality cook. So, what message I got from this, which I carry till date, is that it's a lot about me. It's a lot about you when it comes to rice. Our utensils, our ingredients are important, but we need inner strength. We need that wisdom to rise. So the key to mastery in the kitchen or in the boardroom is not only your toolbox, it is you. Now, if you, okay, let me show you this slide quickly. Okay. Now, what do you see? You see an iceberg, right? Now, a lot of psychologists have compared an iceberg to a human being. Now, can you guess what is the similarity of an iceberg to a human being? So can you unmute yourself and just speak up? Yeah, I can't see them.
There is a lot.
There is more in the inside than what is seen, and even humans are like that.
Hello?
Okay, sorry. Who was that? Who said this? You're right.
Ria.
Yeah, Ria. So you said you didn't want to quite do that because uh, some part of themselves is seen and some part of them is not seen.
Yeah, so there is
Is it
lot
correct?
inside. Sorry. Yeah. I said there is lot inside than what is seen outside.
Okay. Thank you. Are you Ria? You said.
Yeah, Ria.
Yeah. Thank you, Ria. So there's a lot inside. Yes, you could please mute yourself. So there is a lot inside, and a lot of inside is connected to the outside. But if you see, majority of the iceberg is inside. So a large portion of us is inside. And this whole journey is about going inside. So thank you. Thank you very much, Ria. Now, I want to ask you something else. I want to ask everybody something else. Okay. Do you feel sometimes there is some kind of a performance gap? You want to do something, but sometimes you're not able to do it. Okay. You plan to do something, but in the moment you do something else. So if this resonates with you, you can just put your answer in the chat box. Yeah. You try to do something and something else happens. It could be that uh, you know uh, you come home and you want to be very nice to your family and somebody says something and then suddenly you blow your top. Yeah, you never planned for it, you didn't want to do it, but it just happened. Yeah, something like that. Does it happen to you?
Yes, it happens.
It happens, right? Uh, the other day my daughter came home and she said that, Dad, I didn't want to meet my friend, but somehow I could not tell her no, and I landed up saying yes. Yeah. uh, Sometimes we say something and we regret it. Yeah. Sometimes you feel I had a chance to speak but I couldn't speak in the meeting. Yeah. Sometimes you feel that you know uh, the whole day went by, I couldn't do what I really wanted to do. So this is what we call is a performance gap. And we all experience this kind of performance gap. And the endeavor is to bridge this performance gap. Okay. Now, typically in corporate world, the performance gap is tried to be bridged by training programs, which is good. People need skills. But if the inner work is not done properly, skills don't work so well. I mean, I've been a corporate trainer for close to 2 decades, and training effectiveness is questionable if it doesn't begin from inside. Yeah. So that's what I really meant when I said that iceberg is important. Now, what is really inside us? Now, inside us, there are many ingredients. Okay, there are thousands of ingredients which make the iceberg, which is below the waterline. Thousands of them. This might be your past, your past life, your experiences, your knowledge, your learning. There's a lot of stuff inside us. Like these ingredients, some are sweet, some are sour, some are bitter, some are salty, pungent. Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sense of these ingredients in us, right? What are these ingredients in our life? So, what we call the inner ingredients, one of the ingredients is wanting, willing. So everybody has this ingredient in ourselves which says that I want something in life. I want a house, I want a good job, I want a good business, I want a good spouse, I want good education. There is this willing and wanting in us. Okay. uh, the second ingredient is thinking. We are thinking, okay, should I take up this job? Should I buy this house? Should I go out for dinner? We have this active ingredient of thinking in us. The third ingredient in us is our feeling. Okay, uh, this is an important ingredient. How I'm feeling. Am I energized? Am I de-energized? Am I enthusiastic? I'm sad. It's a very important component of the meal. I mean, if the feeling part is not there, uh, life is not all that exciting. The dish, the food, the meal is not very palatable. And the fourth component is doing. Now, I know this is linked to our scriptures. I'm not an expert on them, but I keep on hearing that these four ingredients are very active ingredients in our life. And these ingredients are measured, are represented by people inside us. We call them team members, right? So wanting is represented by the dreamer in us. We all dream, right? The thinking is represented by this person called thinker. The feeling is represented by somebody called relator, okay? And the doing is the warrior, right? So these are the four ingredients in us. And there are many more ingredients, but for the purpose of practicing something, research says these four are very, very active ingredients, right? Now, let's understand what is the role of a dreamer, what is the role of a thinker, what's the role of a relator, what's the role of a warrior. Now, for example, I want to buy a house. I've been aspiring to buy a house in Mumbai. I've been aspiring to buy a house in a high rise. I've been aspiring to buy a house next to the sea. This is the dreamer in me. The dreamer, the dreams are in his eyes or her eyes. Okay. When the dreamer completes his or her job, the thinker steps in and says, okay, so if you want to buy an apartment in Mumbai on the sea, it's going to cost so many crores of rupees. What are you doing about it? Okay, is your present job, a business, going to get you that kind of money? Is the market right enough to buy now? Do you want to take a loan? Blah, blah, blah. So thinker sets in. Then the relator is the feeling part. Oh, wow, you know, I'm so energized by the fact that I'm trying to buy a flat. My family is going to live in that flat. My children are going to play in the park. Okay, it builds your aspiration. And the warrior says, you know what, you need to do something about it. Start scouting for property, change your job, try for a promotion. Sorry. So you see, these four ingredients, they work very well. They collaborate very well. So I'm trying to add some more context to it. So if you could read this slide, yeah, in terms of what the dreamer does, what the thinker does, the warrior does, and relator does. So dreamer generate a vision, dare to pursue your dreams, sense a path forward, thinker applies facts and logic, relator connects with emotions, builds trust, and the warrior speaks hard truths, hold your grounds, and takes actions. So these team members, they have a divine in them and they have a demon in them. So for example, I'm going to give you the divine aspect of these four gentlemen or four people. The dreamer, suppose your spouse says, I want to go for a vacation. It's been a long time that we have not gone out. So the dreamer dreams, wow, I'm going to go to this lovely hill station and, it's snowing over there. We're going to sledge. We're going to play in the snow. The thinker says, okay, so I need to book my tickets early. What is the cost? Blah, blah, blah. The relator thinks about, the good he's doing for his family, the moments they'll spend over there, and the whole process of planning a holiday. And the warrior says, okay, let's get into action. Let's book the tickets. Let's book the hotel. Now, that's the divine part. What about the demon? Do you think these four people have a demon also in them? If you think you have some understanding of this, you could please share. Do you think a dreamer can be destructive? Can you think of a thinker being destructive, a relator being destructive, a warrior being destructive? Have you seen such kind of behaviors? I will wait, no problem.
Yes, something that can be constructive to me, it may be harmful to somebody else. So
What's
that
your
is
name?
Veena Bajoria.
Yeah, Reenaji, please. Yes,
Is
I
it
see.
what we are talking?
You said it could be constructive for you and destructive for the other person. Okay, yes,
Like
that's what.
you see, I might feel the envy and I might want to better somebody, or sometimes I might want to harm also somebody because I'm
Yes.
very annoyed with them.
Haribol, yeah, Mansi, tell me sorry.
What?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I think we need to unmute our gadgets, and when you want to speak, kindly mute your gadgets and unmute yourself when you want to speak. Yes. So, what is your name? What did you say? You're Reena, right? That's what you said.
Veena Bajoria.
Yeah, Reena ji, thank you. So that was nice. Yes, I can create a lot of havoc in people's life by being a warrior. Yes, I mean there are people today who are dreaming to to make life miserable for somebody. Maybe they don't like. They are planning to do that. Somebody who is a relator, he can really make life miserable of people around him or her. And somebody who is a warrior, if he wants to use it in a negative sense, he can harm a lot of people physically also. So yes, so now what I'm trying to say is that these four ingredients and four team members are in us, and they have a divine side and they have a demonic side. Now the question here is, what do you think you are? Are you more of a dreamer, more of a thinker, more of a relator, more of a warrior? What do you think you are? Now, this is a very personalized question. You have to answer it yourself. And I want to know what is your understanding of yourself. So you will have all the four in you. And if you look at the divine side, what are those two which are prominent in you? So in the chat box, if you could write down, what are your top two? So Radhika Kishori says she's a warrior and relator. Okay, I'm not supposed to be saying all these things, but yes, we have a thinker and relator. Okay, we have a thinker and warrior. We have a dreamer and warrior. There are a lot of warriors here. We have a thinker and relator.
Warrior means the doer. I'm looking at it as a doer.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You could call this doer also, no problem, because in case warrior sounds very violent,
Yeah,
so we can
go-getter. I'm looking at it as a go-getter.
go-getter. Yes, that's good. Yes, we have relator and thinker. So we have a good mix of people over here who think in different ways. Nice, thank you. So now, why do you believe that you are this? What makes you believe? I would like to hear one or two people speak in terms of why they believe that they are this. For example, I will tell you, I'm more of a dreamer and a relator. Okay, put me in a room, and I will dream of possibilities. I'll dream of new ideas. I dream of innovation because this is something which comes very naturally to me. And for me, relationships are very, very important. If relationships are disturbed, I'm very, very disturbed. So dreamer and relator are my top two. But yes, thinker and warrior follow. So why do you believe that you are what you are? Just would like to understand.
Yeah, Deepak, this is Naman here.
Yes, Naman.
Yeah. So, yeah, related, I think I also find that, relationship are most important thing for me. So that's why I mark myself as relator. And the other thing is, I am not a very action oriented. It takes me long to, unless I am settled, then only I can take an action. That's why I didn't check
Okay.
warrior. And out of
Okay.
dreamer and thinker, so I do not have a lot of things or aspirations in the sense that what I want from life. I mean,
Hmm.
not in many sense as you mentioned, uh, I mean all the things of job or house and those kind of things. So but yeah, so
Okay.
when and there's any situation or anything, so it comes more as a thought. I'm more thoughtful, so that's why I chose
Okay.
thinker and relator. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So you are like that introverted, thinking in yourself kind of a person who really cares for people, wants harmony. Yeah, is that something like you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one thing.
Okay.
I mean, like, just not an introvert. I mean, as a definition. So I am extrovert in the sense that talking to
Okay.
people is there in that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I overstepped my brief. Actually, I should not be commenting whether you're an introvert or extrovert. But yes, you keep on thinking about people.
Yes.
Silently, maybe thinking about people. That's what possibly I meant by thinking
Yeah.
inside
Yeah.
about people
Yeah.
because you're a
Yeah.
related. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Anybody else would like to share?
Shall I?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Neha Gupta.
Okay, Meghna, please.
Yeah. So I feel that I am a dreamer and a warrior.
Can you speak a little louder, please?
Is that audible? Is that better now?
Yeah, better, better. Yes.
Yeah. So I feel that I'm a dreamer and a warrior because I actually dream. I have my plans and all that, and I get into the
Okay.
action when it comes to accomplishing. So my dreams always comes with a timeline and so when I want to achieve what I want to achieve. So I feel I'm a dreamer and a warrior.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else?
Hello.
Yes.
Can I share?
Yes. Sorry.
Can I share?
Oh yeah. Please, please. No need to ask. What's your name?
You see, I think Veena Bajoria.
Ah, Veena ji. Haji boli.
I think the dreams are always there in front of my eyes. But as soon as my harmony is broken, then I become a thinker immediately. That what's disturbing this harmony, and whatever I can do, whatever is in my control or power, I always try to create that harmony with positive
Okay.
thinking. That is how I am a warrior.
Okay, so if there is harmony all the way, then which would be your top two?
That's what I thinker and warrior.
Think about it. Okay, thank you. Anybody else would like to say something?
Can I say something, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Rashmiji, please tell me.
Yeah, so I had ticked for a dreamer and a warrior because, I think that I have a lot of small goals to achieve. So I keep on dreaming or thinking about it a lot. And I usually maintain
Okay.
a diary in which I write, what small, it be it a small or a big thing, but I usually write it. Like even if I have to give somebody 500 rupees, so I'll just maintain it that way. I have to give this person or whatever small
Okay.
things. And I think in my diary, there are certain pending works which are still like wo saal bhar se pending hai. So I try that I go behind that work or that goal till
Okay.
the best I can give. So that is why I, chose warrior. So
Okay.
I think, yes, I try my best that I should be able to achieve it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. So you see, we have a kind of an understanding of our personality. That we have certain elements which are very powerful in us. Now, tell me one thing. Are the two members in your family creating a problem? Think about it. Because if I'm a dreamer and relator and I'm not so much of a warrior, is it a problem? Is it creating some kind of a problem in my life, in my relationship with people, in my work? I want you to spend a minute to just think about it. Yeah. I mean, let's reflect that by some ingredients missing in my kitchen, is it impacting my dish?
Kheer khodam.
Yeah. Just think of that, please. For example, the warrior in me is weak. So I remember in my office, I'm a soft boss, okay, and people don't take me like a boss. I'm more like a friend to them. So it happened that if they had to take leave, they would just call me one day before and say, tomorrow I'm on leave. And it kept on going on for some time, and I felt this had to stop. But the warrior in me was thinking that, how can I tell people not to take leave or to let me know in advance? It was quite a difficult thing for me to do. But somebody who's a warrior will find it very easy to do this. Say, what's so big about it? Just say it. But that's not my core inside. So one day I decided that, I want to be a warrior. So this girl, lady called me and said, sir, just want to tell you tomorrow I'll not be coming. And I asked her, gathering a lot of warrior in me, that yeah, who decides whether you're going to go on leave tomorrow? And she said, she paused for some time and then she said, both of us. I said, exactly. You alone do not decide that you're going to go on leave tomorrow. Even I need to know that. Even I need to be part of the decision. Now it took me a lot of effort to say that, but I had to bring out the warrior in me. Because if that would not happen, I would not be too productive in life. I would be taken for granted. There's another case study. Korean Airlines, I don't know, maybe in the 70s or the 80s, they had the maximum air crashes. And they did a lot of research to find out what made Korean Airlines crash. And after they did the complete research, what came out was that the pilot and the co-pilot sitting in the cockpit, if the pilot is making an error in judgment, the co-pilot is not able to correct the pilot, saying that, sir, captain, I think you are going wrong. And because the co-pilot did not correct the pilot, because the warrior in the co-pilot could not speak up, these air crashes happen. So then they had this huge training program in Korean Airlines for them to speak up. Because in Asia, in the Asian culture, the warrior in us, when it comes to speaking to people who are elderly, people who are senior, is considered disrespectful. In fact, I remember one more incident. My father, he was making a big investment. This was around 6 years back. And it was a huge investment, crores of rupees. And I knew he was doing the wrong thing. But being my father, being a chartered accountant, being a, having good understanding of the world, he issued the check. I saw the check being given to the other person, and I knew that what he was doing was wrong. My thinker was active, my relator was active, my warrior was asking, what do I do? What do I do? Then I approached a saint. I asked the saint, what do I do? And he told me, you know why Mahabharata happened? Mahabharata happened because Bhishma did not have the courage or the guts to correct his father who wanted to get married to the lady. So yes, if you feel your father is doing the wrong thing, speak up. And I did speak up. And 6 years later, today if you look back, that investment was a big mistake. I had to actually take the check back from the gentleman whom my father gave it to. So somewhere, certain things may be very uncomfortable for us. However, we need to tap into that to bridge the performance gap. So I want to hear from you. Have you felt like that some of your weakest team members, you missed out on them? If only that weak team member had spoken, had sprung up, it could have been a different story today. Can you please share, please? Anybody who can relate to what we're just discussing?
Yeah. So Haribol, Naman here again. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
can, as you mentioned, when uh, the reportee, called you and she mentioned that tomorrow she would be on leave, and then you had to take. So it was not a natural way for you. The warrior is
yeah,
not the natural thing for you. So you
yes,
have been in the relator mode in that sense. Relationship
yes,
matters the most, but then it was so you had to make an extraneous effort to to work on that, and then you did that. And the same example as you mentioned for the investment. So what I could relate here is I can relate to myself also. I mean, the warrior is missing at times, and then the warrior is the feeling itself, or thinking, or relation. I mean, like that itself is the action. you know you're getting what I want to mention is that thinking itself is an
yeah,
action, or relating to other itself becomes an action. So that is what I can relate to my side of the story here.
yeah. So the thinking is more about your intention, and relation is also about your emotions. But till it doesn't get into practice,
Yeah.
people won't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, a lot of people are in the dream state. I want to start a business. I want to do this. I want to do that. But have you taken the first few steps? We see this with the youth. They have a lot of aspirations. I want to do this. I want to do that. But when it comes to doing, they fall short. So yes, warrior has his part to play for sure. Yes, anybody else?
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
This is Ashish Kumar.
Yes, Ashish.
Guruji, as per my understanding, and anyone can be a dreamer, anyone can be a thinker, and it is relator also, and a person can be a relator. But a person who is a warrior, actually, he's a real warrior in the sense that it is too tough, to take a right action at the right time. Like, you have narrated your case study, and we are all mostly from the working field, so we get to come across these situations many a times, wherein we know that we have to speak out, but then in our subconscious mind we feel that if I speak out now, probably it might hamper my relationship with that person. So
Right.
a person who is in a warrior mode, he really, I mean, hats off to him, from my side, because it's too tough to be a warrior.
Thank you. So sometimes has anybody felt like this, that they have spoken and they realize they shouldn't have spoken? It wasn't the right forum to speak. It wasn't the right person to speak to. It wasn't the right time to speak. Sometimes warriors also feel that they shouldn't have been so much of a warrior. So this also happens. People regret, oh, I said this. Maybe it might happen in our home. We say something to our spouse, something to a child, because possibly they can take it, but we regret later that I shouldn't have been so much of a warrior. I could have been more of a relator. So each one has its own part to play. So yes, moving ahead, self-mastery is about integrating the inner team members to balance each other. I mean, it's you need all the 4 team members, and sometimes you feel you need to bring in a relator, sometimes you need to bring in a dreamer. Yes, we need to do all that. Sometimes the old strategies have to be replaced with new strategies. Now I'm going to share a link with you, and this link is like a dipstick survey to help you find out which are your top 2. Now you've already gone through the process. Go through the survey. It will not take more than 5 minutes to do that, but do that right now. Okay. I will ask Radhika Kishori, can you send the link to everybody, please?
I just did.
Yeah. So just take 5 minutes. It's a dipstick. It's not a very serious survey, but it will give you some understanding of what your top.
You're talking of the VIA link?
No. Which I've sent you on chat.
Yeah, I've sent that.
Erica.
Yeah, I sent it.
Yeah. Stop sharing. Let's see. Okay, can you do that, please? Do the survey.
Just ask everybody's what they think, how they're working on it.
Prakriti. I don't know. Okay, I hope you're able to manage. Do it right now. You'll get your results instantly. If you are done, you can just put in the chat box so that we know that you're done with it. Okay, so another 2 minutes. I think some of you all have finished already. 2 minutes, and I hope the answers are in line with your thinking. Yeah. So can we have some people speak about the results? What they thought and what they saw in terms of their scores on the survey.
Yeah, Haribol Prabhu, Naman here.
Yeah, Naman.
So, yeah, so I think uh, my scores were low dreamer, balanced thinker, high level, balanced warrior. So I think
Okay.
high level was correct. Low dreamer
Okay.
was also correct.
Okay.
Balanced thinker and balanced warrior. So yeah, so that's my score. So I think it pretty much matches what I was before taking this course when I was having the conversation with you. So
Okay.
balanced
Good.
warrior. I'm happy that it is a balanced warrior, not a low warrior.
Yes. 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 So you're right in your assessment.
Yeah, almost.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Anybody else?
I can share, Prabhu. This is Padma.
Yes, Padma.
Hold on. This is going. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
No problem.
So the results I got was that I am a balanced dreamer, balanced thinker, and balanced lover, and low warrior.
Okay, so lover is relator. Okay, so just for clarification. So the warrior in you has to wake up a little bit, Padmaji. Yeah, that's what the
Yeah.
need of the hour is possibly. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like that sometimes the warrior in you is sleeping?
I don't know. That is true, I think, but it's at times when I speak up, I think I speak up at a wrong time, and it kind of hurts me, or I don't know, little confused, I guess, in that. Yeah, I think that is true. I'm a low warrior because try to please people, and sometimes I cannot speak up if I don't want to do also. But sometimes I speak at wrong time. I think it doesn't go well. Then other people are not taking properly, even though I want to speak up and speak. That creates a problem. I take it back.
Right, right. Yeah. So sometimes when it builds up and then you speak up when it's possibly reaches a particular level which you cannot tolerate, and then it comes out in uglier ways. Sometimes it comes out in some cases. In some cases.
I think that is also one of the reasons.
True, true. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being so candid. Thank you. Yes. Anybody else would like to share their scores and what they think about it?
Hello, Deepak ji.
Yes.
This is Ramanand here.
Yes, Ramanji.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity and the platform that you have created. It's really inspiring to start with.
Thank you.
Actually, the time that I got for filling up this all questions was little on the lower side. So I don't know, my answers were exactly 100% right.
You can do it again, no problem.
Yeah.
You can do it again.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think whatever time I had got to understand the question and then rightly answer it, what the result I got is the balanced dreamer, balanced thinker, balanced relator, and low and a warrior.
Okay.
So pretty much sums up the personality that I have. So I think that is what the correct understanding is.
Okay. Warrior just doesn't mean that they fight or something. A warrior means action oriented, getting work done, execution. Okay.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share? Any questions, any comments? Yeah, please feel free to ask.
Shall I kind of share my understanding? So
please.
for me, like I mentioned, that I was more of a dreamer and a balanced warrior is what the report says, and a balanced thinker also, like it mentions. So I see a pretty this thing, and low lover. So if you could just elaborate on low lover, could give me a better clarity, please.
Okay, so very simply, it means that you think about people.
Mm-hmm.
You're in your mind, you are thinking about when you get up in the morning, you're not thinking so much about okay, today I have to complete this work and I have to do this work and I have to finish this assignment. You're thinking about, oh, today I'm going to meet this person. Today I have to do this for this person. Today this person is going to do this for me. Your mind is preoccupied or dominated by people. It's people over job, people over task. So for example, if you're a manager and somebody comes to you and asks you for leave, and you really need this person because this person is working on a very important assignment, and you also know that this person wants leave because there is a family wedding or whatever it is, your mind will go more towards trying to tell him or her that try to finish your work and then go, because that occupies more of your mind space than people. Not that it doesn't in any way mean that you don't have feelings or something like that. It's just that the mind thinks more about task and getting things done and all such things. I don't know whether this makes sense to you, but this is what I understand about somebody who's low on relator.
So, if I perceive it right, does it mean that I'm more action oriented, looking for getting work done, but certainly can have empathy towards situation? Does that
Yes,
mean this?
yes, it needs empathy. For example, I'll give you an example. This is a real life example. There was a project to be completed, and the project was running late. And this gentleman, the manager, was more of a warrior, less of a relator. And he was getting a little apprehensive. So he went on to the team members and he told them that, guys, what are you all doing, man? Get it done fast. Now, for him, it was fine because he's a warrior, he wants action to be done. Now, those people who were working on the assignment were thinking, what do you think? We are not aware of the fact that this assignment has to be done. Are we not aware of the fact that we are running behind time? Are we not aware of the fact that there's a deadline? So this manager got feedback saying that just be a little more empathetic towards your team members. Maybe you could have gone and told them that, listen, this is, a project which will get us somewhere in life. You could have appealed to the dreamer in your colleagues. Maybe you could have asked them, I hope you guys are doing well. I know it's quite stressful. Can I organize something for you, some snacks or something? So sometimes the relator part of us might take a back seat when we experience some kind of anxiety, when we experience some kind of stress, uh, because that is a weak element in us. So because it's a weak element, it doesn't pop up, it doesn't get heard so much. See, so many times, it happens like that. See, my wife is more of a warrior and I'm more of a relator. And for her to remove her weapons and start, you know, moving her sword comes very naturally. So when I see that, I get a little disturbed. I said, oh, how do you remove the sword so fast? But for her, it's natural. And she says, hold the sword. Why don't you also start moving it around? And I say, it's not so easy for me. Yeah. So it's perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong in that. It is just that the personality is different. The priorities are different. But the warrior has to build the relator in him or her, and the relator has to build the warrior in him or her. Because in some situations we need the relator, in some situations we need the warrior. And the problem is that in certain situations when we're not able to play that role, we lose out on the performance or the productivity or the output. Because that part of us did not wake up. That part of us did not live up to what it was expected to do. And sometimes we just lead our life with 2 or 3 team players and we just ignore the 4th team player. But the whole idea is to get all the 4 together and see which one needs to be played at what point in time. So it's all situation, it's very contextual. What should play when? And some of my weak elements will need some practice, will need some awakening for it to come to life. I don't know, I may have gone over all over the question, but this is what I was trying to explain. I hope it helps. Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah.
What do we understand by low dreamer?
Low dreamer means, dreamer is about dreaming about the future, imagining about the future. It's about aspiring. It's about intuition. It's about seeing what you cannot see. So a lot of people, are busy thinking about the present, about the past, but somehow they're missing out on the future. Can we unmute? Can we mute people, please? Sorry. So dreamer is somebody who's more in the future. Dreamer is a person who is more in a space which does not exist. For example, somebody dreamt of a phone without a wire, and that became a mobile phone. Somebody dreamt of a phone without physical buttons. That became a smartphone. So you need the dreamer in you who keeps that hope alive, who sees a better future. And that wakes you up in the morning from the bed and say, I need to run. I need to do something about it. But if I'm just sleeping in bed dreaming, then the dreamer is of no use. That's only one team player who's working, but he or she is not going to win the match. We need a relator, we need a thinker, we need a warrior. And in our personality, we'll have some which are very strong and some which are not so strong. And we need to look at that. And what will help us to look at that is the next team player whom I'm going to introduce. He's called the transform.
Haripul.
Yes.
Haripul. Sorry, bro. Maybe breaking the flow, but I just have a small question. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So I think as you mentioned, thinker. I think you mentioned thinker is primarily thinking of the past and the present, right?
Yeah, even planning for the future. Once you've decided where you want to go, you would be thinking about the future also in terms of how to execute it.
Okay. So my question is, what is the difference between a dreamer and someone who worries about the future? So when the mind goes in the future tense, so more than so I'm talking from my score as a low dreamer, and I was just contemplating, and then this question also came. So what is the difference between a dreamer and someone who worries thinking about the future? When the
It
future
was a
is
very good question. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
very good question. So as I told you, all the 4 team players have a divine side and they have a demonic side. So the dreamer can also think about, oh God, what if this happens? Oh God, what if that happens? Okay. He can dream of destroying his own self. So yes, you have a negative dreamer also in you, and you have a positive dreamer also in you. So you're right. I mean, yes, a dreamer can think negatively also about the future.
Yeah. Okay.
Prabhuji, this is Manisha here. Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
Manisakia, yeah. Prabhuji, my survey shows balanced dreamer, high thinker, balanced lover, and it shows low warrior. But according to me, I'm a big time warrior. You know me well. So
same came for me also.
Same for Radhika Kishori, and we both are like we can be in the same shoe together. So why is this coming for me also? It's like I'm low warrior. I'm like, you know me well. So how do you define this, Prabhuji?
Okay, so can you repeat your scores again?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. This was first is balanced dreamer, that I agree. Then it's high thinker, again, that I agree with. balanced
Yeah.
lover, and it's
Yes.
low warrior.
Low warrior. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, but if you had to score yourself, uh, what would be high in you?
High would be warrior for sure,
Okay.
or the relator and the warrior.
The relator and the warrior would be high.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, tomorrow, I mean, when we meet on Wednesday, I'm going to take you through the facets of warrior. Okay.
Okay.
Because you want to break the warrior into different parts,
Mhm.
right? Then we
Mhm.
will try to, see which parts of the warrior are high in you, which parts of the warrior may be weak in you. So let's go a little deeper into this assessment in the next session.
Sure,
Okay.
Prabhuji. Sure.
I fully agree with you that you are definitely a very strong warrior. But let's hold on to it. And this survey is not going to supersede your understanding. This survey is just a dipstick. It just gives a very quick understanding, but this is not the best understanding. The best understanding is your own self, the people around you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
yes, my
Thank
wife
you.
also got a low score in warrior. That means it is questionable for sure. Okay.
She got
So
the
thank
same
you.
score as me. So
Yeah,
we were
both of
just
us are similar
discussing that on the
personality.
chat. So we both can't get the low warrior thing at all.
Yes. Surely.
Yeah, yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
So now, typically, we have all the four in us. Some are active, some are inactive, and there is something called a transformer in us also, which sits in between all the four. And the job of the transformer is to ensure that whatever you do is aligned to your values and purpose. Yeah. uh, it will see what you're doing, so it will see, okay, now the thinker in Manisha Mataji is very active. Okay, the relator is taking a back seat. Okay, uh, the the dreamer is very active in Nayan's case. Okay, the warrior is taking a back seat. So there is this transform is looking, okay, inside us and saying, okay, what is active, what is inactive. Then what the transformer does, it says, okay, let's look at what the thinker has to say in case the thinker is sleeping. So it awakens the thinker and says, thinker, what do you think in this situation? What should one do? Okay. For example, I'm having a conversation with my boss, and he says, your performance in the last presentation was horrible. And I had put in a lot of effort, a lot of sweat, a lot of nights had gone into making the presentation. And this person is telling me it was horrible. On what basis? This is my talk going on in my mind. Okay. On what basis is he saying that this presentation was horrible? And he keeps on slandering me. He keeps on telling me, what went wrong in the presentation. And I'm losing it inside. I'm losing it inside. Okay. The warrior in me is has woken up, is adding, is picking up all the armors. Okay. The relator in me has gone for a walk. The thinker in me has decided to stop working. The dreamer in me has stopped dreaming. And the warrior in me is growing and growing and growing. And the transformer is looking. And now the warrior in me is going to remove the sword and start attacking. Okay? But the transformer in me has the capacity to tell me that, listen, if you do this, this is the end of the dreamer in you who wants a promotion. This is the end of your next promotion in terms of all the effort which you have put in over the years. And once the transformer starts speaking like this, the thinker wakes up, the relator wakes up, and then they start discussing, okay, maybe it's not the right time to attack. Maybe it's not the right way to attack. Maybe there is a better way. Maybe there's a better time. And then gradually the warrior shrinks in size. The relator grows in size. the thinker grows in size and starts speaking in a way that the boss could understand his or her emotions. So I'm just giving you an example of how the transformer interacts with these 4 team players. And it's if these are if these 4 are team players, transformer is the captain of the team. The captain of the team is responsible to keep me balanced, to keep me grounded, to keep me productive, and to lead a purposeful life. So these 4 have their own agenda, independent of me. But the transformer has my real agenda. It protects me to live my values, to live my purpose, to lead my goals. Those 4, they will do their job. Salt will add salt to the food. Tamarind will add sourness to the food. Chilies will add pungent to the food. That is a job. But the cook has to decide how much chilies to put, how much salt to put, how much oil to put. That is the job of a transformer. And if I'm well connected with my transformer, if I'm well connected with my cook, if I'm well connected with my captain, and my captain is well connected with my players, then the match is in control. Now, certain things come very naturally to me. Thinker, dreamer, warrior, relator, and to some extent, transformer. For some people, the connection, the conversation between the transform and the 4 team players is very, very transparent. For some, it is not. For some, it's a strength. For some, it is not. So in the next session, what we're going to do is we're going to really understand and go a little deeper into what are my natural strengths. If I'm a dreamer, then what are the things in a dreamer that comes naturally to me? What are the things in a thinker which come naturally to me? And there are certain things in all the 4, in all the 5, which will come naturally to me. And those are my strengths. And some of them are realized, some of them are not realized. And which are not realized, I have to wake them up. Because I didn't know that I had the courage to speak to my father that he was making a wrong investment decision. I didn't know it. And many things in life we don't know till we don't experience it. Till we don't go through that feeling of vulnerability, we don't come to know our strength. Now, there is a saying, it says, your weakness can become your strength, and your strength can become your weakness. For example, when I was in school, I was extremely shy, extremely scared to go on stage. That was my weakness. But once I left school, I decided I'm going to go on stage and speak. I care a damn. I joined a public speaking course. I went on stage. I messed up badly. That was my weakness. But the strength which came out of the weakness was that I was persistent. I didn't give up. And I'm very happy that I had this weakness which brought out my strength of being persistent, which brought out the dreamer in me that I want to go on stage and speak confidently. Similarly, sometimes we're very proud of our strengths. Oh, this is my strength. And that can become my weakness. Or, I can, let's take an example of, I'm very confident. I know my business very well. I know the future very well. And that stops me from talking to people. That stops me from asking people. And I take my own decisions because I'm very confident. And I've seen a lot of businesses fail because of one wrong decision. Kodak Kodak was a market leader in cameras. They invented the digital camera. When the digital camera was presented to the board of directors, saying this is the future of photography, of imaging, they said, sorry. And that one decision brought an end to Kodak. So if big companies thinking too big about themselves can collapse, what about individuals like us? So sometimes our strength becomes our weakness. We speak really well, we know to speak really well, but sometimes we speak too much and puts us in trouble. So yes, your weakness brings out your strengths, and your strengths can also bring out your weaknesses. So this whole endeavor is to accept that we have weaknesses and we have strengths. And both have their benefits. In fact, sometimes weaknesses can contribute more to your development because that brings out the best in you. There's nothing, they say, what you can learn from failure is much more than you can learn from success. Success is a lousy teacher. In fact, when you have too many things in life, you might not be happy also. For example, there was an experiment conducted where children were given 6 types of chocolates and they had to choose one. And there were another set of children who were given 30 pieces of chocolate and they had to select one. Both went through the exercise, and after the exercise, they were asked, the people who were given 6, was it, how was the experience? They said, very nice. And when they asked the people, the kids who were given 30 types of chocolates, they were miserable. They said it was too complicated, what to choose, what not to choose. It became too difficult. It wasn't a very pleasant experience to choose when you had 30, but with 6 it was easier. So I'm not saying 6 is good and 30 is bad. It's about balance. It's about moderation. Too much of something and too less of something is not good. We need to balance it off. Too much of a dreamer, too much of a warrior, too much of a relator, too much of a thinker, not good. Integration is the key. We started with cooking, we're ending with cooking. It has to be in the right proportion. Now, somebody who's a great cook, like I see my wife and my mom cook, salt is like just pick up and throw. What is pick up and throw to somebody who's new to cooking? It's your ability to judge what needs to be done in the situation, how much salt is required, how much oil is required, how much chili is required. And that sense, that judgment that in this situation, do I need to be a dreamer? Do I need to be a relator? That judgment is important. That is not taught in textbooks. That is not taught in schools. That is not taught in colleges, but it's all within us. This wisdom is within us, and we can build on it. For example, if there's a doctor who's operating on a patient, he's doing a brain surgery. He's learned it in school that you need to cut off the scalp, dig into the gray matter, but how much to cut, how much to dig, that question, that surgeon will answer while he's in the operation theater. Nobody will tell him that. The transformer in him will guide that, yes, you need to do so much. And that comes by experience, that comes by wisdom. And our whole endeavor of this program is to go deeper into all these 5 elements, see which elements are coming naturally to me, which are my genuine weaknesses, which are those strengths I've not even seen. I need to look at it. I never got an opportunity to look at it. Maybe I was not vulnerable enough to look at it. So it's going to be a journey which we will explore deeper. And the homework for you is you need to go back to your family members and ask them that, what do you think I am? More of a dreamer, thinker, warrior, relator, and why do you feel like that? Hear some stories from them. oh, that day you did this, that day you did this is the way you spoke. Understand from others what they think about you, okay? So that this will verify what you're thinking is accurate or not. So yes, thank you very much. We are close to 8:30. Any questions, any comments? I'll be happy to answer.
Deepak ji, Sudhir here.
Yeah, hi Sudhir.
Yeah. I mean, low warrior does not mean not successful, right? You can be a low warrior but a high dreamer. In my opinion, Obama was probably a high dreamer. So, and Trump is probably a high warrior but a low dreamer. So, is my analysis right about these two leaders?
So what do you understand by warrior? I think we need clarity on that.
Yeah.
Sudhir, what do you understand by warrior?
Warrior as in being persistent and doing things your way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe your way, or maybe the way you agree with getting into action, right?
Right.
Executing.
Right.
Right. Right.
So Trump's built the wall, no matter the objection by the Senate. So there were so many people against him, but he pushed on. He passed an emergency bill and got the thing done because he wanted to do it. So so warriors of
True.
people.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for them, actions are really louder than words. So they really want to do it. Till they don't do it, they don't feel fulfilled. Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. I don't know much about Obama, but yes, Obama definitely was a good thinker because he had some nice thoughts and a dreamer too. I mean, but I don't know much about his actions. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Anybody else has any questions?
To understand all these definitions, Prabhu. I'm sorry. I think I'm speaking in.
Sorry. Okay. I maybe this will help. Okay. Dreamer. Dreamer is what I want, what I don't want. Strength is creativity. Skills are innovation. Provides direction. Thinker is my opinion, my ideas. Strength is clarity, analysis, reflection. Lover or relator, how we both feel, our level of trust. Strength is compassion, skills for relationship, provides connection. The warrior is what task to do, what line to draw. Requires courage, you need accomplishment, provides protection. So a lot of action, a lot of protection. They will fight for you, they'll protect you, and they'll get the work done. So, yeah.
I want to ask something.
Yes, please.
So one of the examples where you placed where, in our Hindu culture, we normally don't speak in front of elders, and we have grown up in such a way that even when we know it's going wrong, we are not supposed to talk because, we respect them. This is the way we kind of take it. And in this whole process where I'm being grown in that kind of environment, that in the process of just respecting, and we've always kept suppressing ourselves. So where I feel that at this point of time, I lose on the compassion. So where I know that I love this person or I hold the compassion, but I kind of, with that suppression, it all feels that I have diluted on that factor on me. And I've got more into getting work done and more into the thinker mode. So do I see this as an imbalance in my whole self?
Yeah, I mean, yes, if you feel personally for yourself that you lost out because you couldn't bring out the warrior in you, so it is for you to judge.
So I see that I've become a warrior, as in I hold the courage and do everything that I want to achieve silently rather than being very pushy or something about it. But it's just that when holding compassion has kind of diluted in me, because just in the process of respecting everyone and all that, which is not possible.
Okay, okay. See, the relator in you has got diluted because of that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So now if you see that maybe the warrior would have been more active, the compassion or the relator would have been still more alive. Now what has happened? The warrior has woken up, but has heard the relator, which is the most important thing in relationships. So yes, I mean, it's all about capacity. Do I really have the capacity to tolerate? If I don't have the capacity to tolerate, it's better we bring out the warrior in us in a nice way, in a way which is people can appreciate, accept. Uh, so if it goes beyond your capacity, then the ugly part of oneself comes out.
Right.
It's like this, there is a saint who's sitting on the banks of a river, and a scorpion comes and bites him. And he just picks up the scorpion and puts it in the water. Again, the scorpion comes and bites, puts it back in the water. Now, you can be as compassionate as possible, as much as you can tolerate the bite. But if he's going to continue coming and biting you, and this is going to bring out the devil in you, if this is going to bring out the evil in you, you better do something before that happens.
Right.
Why wait till that time when the devil in you comes out? And then we say, forget the relationship, it's not working out, it's nothing now. No dreamer, no thinker, no relator, only warrior. So, well, somebody else would be more tolerant than me, may have said, okay, 2 more bites, no problem. So we need to know our capacity. We need to be very honest with ourselves that how many bites can I take? Till the time I'm sane. I can maintain my sanity and purity till such a level. After that, I will bring out my warrior. Not warrior doesn't mean that I remove the guns and start shooting, but I at least express myself.
Right.
I at least talk about it. I express my resentment in a nice way, in a way which people will appreciate, in a respectful manner. But keeping quiet will kill the other players in myself.
True.
I mean, we have to understand our capacities. We are not gods.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Deepak ji, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, this is Rupa Ladeshi. I just wanted to ask that if all the team members within you are balanced, then would you not need any transformer? If all the 4 team members within you are balanced. Like for me, my test said I'm a balanced dreamer, a high thinker, a low lover, and a balanced warrior. Which to certain extent, I agree to disagree because I still feel that, I'm not a low lover. But I just wanted to ask that if all the 4 team members are balanced within you, then where does the 5th team member, which you just gave us a brief introduction to the transformer?
Yeah.
How
So I'll tell
would
you
that
an incident.
role,
I'll tell you an incident which happened to me. I was going to the airport and I was well before time, and I was very balanced. And suddenly I got into a traffic jam. And I said, TK, I'm well in time, so I will make it to the airport. But that jam was going to be a long jam. There was a major accident, and maybe I would miss my flight. Now, suddenly the thinker in me started thinking, God, what to do? But there's no other way. I've got bags in the car. I'm cars ahead of me, cars on behind me, cars on my side. This is the only way I can go. The dreamer in me started dreaming of missing the flight. And suddenly I had an imbalanced dreamer, I had an imbalanced thinker, I had an irritating relator, and I had an agitated warrior. At that moment, so what happens?
All were imbalanced.
Moment by moment, the situation can change. It's like a Hindi movie, Suddenly the scene changes and things can change. Everything is hunky-dory and suddenly something happens and we go off balance. So if we have a transformer who's
You said,
quite
Deepak, it's very situational, right?
very situational, yes, very situational.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Very situational, right? So it can differ from situation to situation within us. Like, how at times we are proactive about doing certain things.
Yes,
So then that time the warrior becomes high in you, right? Like
yes,
when there
yes.
are certain things that you need to meet deadlines with. Like I remember one of the questions in the survey said that, you're very good at meeting deadlines. I, in fact, rated myself as 5 because I am extremely disciplined when it comes to submitting assignments. Or I take up a lot of classes, sir. So for me, it's very important to meet deadlines. For me, it's very important for my kids to complete their task in time. For me, it's very important for my husband to follow certain discipline in the house. So I feel at times, I think that high warrior in me puts me in trouble. As you said, so it has to be a balance.
Yeah, actually, let me tell you an incident. There was a Supreme Court judge who attended a program on this subject, which was conducted by somebody else, and he was had such a high position that he would possibly talk to the Prime Minister of the country. And then when he came to the program, we were very nervous that who's this person? Why has he come for this program? When his chance came to speak, they asked him, "What is the performance gap you want to build? You want to bridge?" He said, "For the last 45 or 50 years, my wife decides what tie will I wear. And I'm not able to tell her that." So imagine a person who can speak to the Prime Minister. When it comes to the Home Minister, he could not open his mouth. Maybe he was scared that his wife will get hurt. That for so
The
many
story of
years,
all houses.
she's picking up my.
So do you think the man?
I'm sorry.
No, I was just wondering. So at that rate, he must be a low lover, right? I mean, he does think about people for not even hurting his wife, or as you said, a low
Yeah.
lover would be thinking too much about people. Like even when you get up, you think about what you're going to meet this person, or you're going to do this for that person. So I'm sure here the husband was thinking more about the wife's emotions or sentiments. If he would speak up and it would hurt her.
That was stopping him to speak. The high relator in him was stopping him to speak.
Correct.
I mean, he had all the skills.
Whereas at the same guy speaking, whereas the same guy going and speaking in front of the prime minister. So you can see the two different personalities in him.
Exactly. So it's
So
very
beautiful.
situational.
Yes, Deepakji. Correct.
So
Thank you
very
so much. Thank you.
Time. So we will meet on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And please continue your journey of exploring yourself and looking at yourself moment by moment, saying, okay, who's this person talking in my head? Is it the dreamer, thinker, warrior, relator? Okay, I need to speak to this. And I'll tell you what, if you have best friends, and when you talk to your best friend about a problem and the advice they give you, you'll relate very well to the fact that they're telling you to awake this person in you, this player in you, because that friend will act like a transformer. Okay, so if you look back at the advice you got from your best friends, sometimes you realize that, gosh, I didn't see it in that way. I didn't see it that this player of mine was not alive. So please think of some of these incidents and spend some time with yourself, and we will be going deeper to understand what are your natural strengths vis-a-vis all these 5 people in your life. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
I have a doubt. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, so we are done with the meeting. So in case you want to leave, please leave. We'll continue with the questions. Yeah, please.
I just want to confirm my understanding of high relator. The example of judge that you gave just now, he falls in the category of high relator or low relator.
I'm sorry?
the judge falls in which category? High relator or low relator?
He's a high relator. He's a low warrior at home.
Okay, because Mataji said he's similar. He is a low lover. She said like that something. So I got
No, no,
confused.
he's a high relator.
That is high
See,
lover.
this what matters. Yeah, what matters is that his emotions are so high for his wife that he's not able to express his dissatisfaction about the fact that he wants to choose his own tie because it will hurt her. So many of relators are not able to express their opinion to the loved ones about what is troubling them because they think too much about them. And well, it is good if you have the capacity. He had the capacity for 50 years to, continue with the tie his wife selected. But if you do not have the capacity, the lover in you will start diminishing. So for the lover in you, the warrior has to wake up. Otherwise, you will lose the battle. And sometimes we just play the war with three players all our life, thinking that these are the only three in my life. And we forget the fourth player. And the fourth player dies, and we don't achieve what we really want to achieve in life. So, yes, we have to live an integrated life, a wholesome life. That's the purpose. What to use when, which masala, which in the kitchen, similarly, which player is the same funda. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deepakji.
Thank you very much.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Deepak Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Naman here. Thank you very much. I mean, so I'm looking forward for the next two sessions. These four
Yes.
ingredients. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to beg to request maybe in a minute or so. Actually,
Yeah.
I didn't had the Zoom ID before. I mean, I was 10 minutes late, and we already were in the session where we were discussing about these four ingredients. So
Okay.
I could relate, but if you can just mention, were you mentioning that some example of something that so I couldn't understand who is the transformer here. So I'm sorry, but I
Yeah.
mean,
Can
can
you
you?
see the slide? Can you see the slide Dreamer and all that? Is the
Yeah, I
slide
could.
on?
Yeah, this slide is there. I can see this.
Yeah. So based on this slide, this tells you what the dreamer's attention focus is.
Yeah,
Thinker, lover, warrior.
yeah.
So you have any specific question which I could answer,
No,
or
I
you
just
want me to
wanted to
explain?
ask. No, no, no. I don't want. I mean, like, I'm not looking to. I'll first of all, as you mentioned, retrospect and contemplate. What I just wanted to ask, like, did I miss something in the first 10 minutes of the session? What were we
Hmm.
dis? I'm sorry. Like at the end, I'm just asking this.
Okay, okay, okay. The first part of the session was more about that we fall short of performance, in life. Okay,
Okay.
maybe the judge is not able to tell his wife. I got angry with somebody whom I should not have got angry. Sometimes I want to speak, but I couldn't speak. We always regret or we feel bad. So it's because certain ingredients in us, which are deep inside, are ignored or are missing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we spoke about these ingredients and we went into into
Kitchen.
the depth of it. Yeah.
Okay. 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 And
Okay.
just one thing.
We
So
will be
who is the?
sharing these slides. So don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
who is the transformer here? Transformer can be can be a different agent. We would be discussing this further, right?
Yes. So the transformer is a captain who guides these four team players.
Mm-hmm.
The transformer will tell first. He will observe that who's talking. The dreamer is talking. The thinker is talking. Who's more active? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then he or she will judge that, okay, I think in this situation I'm not hearing the thinker speak, I'm not hearing
Mm-hmm.
the warrior speak. So
Mm-hmm.
let's hear what the thinker and warrior also have to speak. And
Mm-hmm.
after all the four have been heard, then a
Mm-hmm.
decision will be taken. Who will act? The dreamer will act, thinker will act, relator will act, warrior will act. And if you already acted in particular way before and it has not worked, you will think of newer ways to act. So, okay, fine, we'll try this out. We'll try this out. But in this moment, we need to do this. If the opponent is too close to me, I need to remove the knife. I cannot use a gun because he's too close to me. For gun, I need a range. I need a distance to shoot. But if the opponent is too close to me, I need a knife. That's why the army, they carry a knife as well as a gun. So which weapon to use when, the transformer will guide.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think
So
it will
we
come.
are going to stick to this.
Yeah.
We are going to be sticking to this.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we'll
Yeah.
get more clarity as we go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We end the meeting.
Yeah, we end the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.